What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media. We've got the pregame show today for the Ravens versus the Lions. Joshua, how you feeling for this game?
Oh man, of course, it's football Sunday, and the Ravens are playing. We're coming off a win in the UK. I'm excited, man. I'm excited because this matchup, Week 7, has brought in a lot of buzz. Not only from my coworkers, from buddies from our game, but from playing 2K with. But damn, everybody's talking about it, man. Everybody's talking about it. They got a strong offense, and we are higher in the rankings on our defense side of the ball and things of that nature. So they pretty much talking about this is going to be a big matchup. I'm loving the energy that's being around, that's being built up about this game. Jared Goff is looking good. They're talking about David Montgomery running the ball, but they haven't forgot that Roquan has played against David Montgomery and has played with them, so he knows how to tackle him. I know people love the numbers that Jared Goff putting up. What is it? Almost over 1,600 yards, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But I don't know everybody that Jared Goff has played, but he hasn't played against a defense. And family, correct me if I'm wrong, that usually gets at the QBs that are mobile. And by him being a stand-up pocket QB, I don't know. It's going to be a long day for Jared to put up some good numbers, against our defense. And Mike McDonald got these guys playing real good football. So I'm loving my odds. I'm loving what today can bring. Only thing I ask is for the Ravens to play Ravens football and not play giveaway football. Not
Joshua, that is Raven football.
Well, let me rephrase it then. I need the Ravens to play have an out of body experience and play a game that they never played before. Because you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They gotta keep the foot on the gas today.
I look to my left and I see my Barry Sanders jersey on the floor, and so I'm throwing my Lamar jersey on top of it, so I don't see that while we're recording. Forgot that was there. Fun fact: Barry Sanders' last game ever was against the Ravens. But this game, I think this is going to be a really big game for the Ravens, facing one of the better offenses and better defenses in the NFL this season. It's a tough test, but it's a unique test because most of the really good teams in the NFL, they have mobile quarterbacks, or at least movable quarterbacks. I think Joe Burrow is a movable quarterback because of how good he is inside the pocket and escaping and avoiding pressure. Jared Goff is not that. Jared Goff is not a pat. Now, I'm not saying he's the easiest guy to take down in the world. That would be Kirk Cousins. Jared Goff can move a little bit, but he is the most immobile quarterback the Ravens have faced so far this season. And they have done a very good job at generating pressures, especially Jadeveon Clowney. So for them in this game to go up against a really solid offensive line, a team missing David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs is starting, so rookie running back right there, and then a wide receiver in Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's done a great job throughout his entire career. And I know we talked about him in the draft process, about a guy we may potentially, want if we weren't able to draft our guy, Rashad Bateman. We were wrong. But overall, we're going to see how Marlon matches up against him, and then rookie tight end Sam Laporta. How does he fare against this Ravens defense and these Ravens linebackers? The Ravens are going to try and get pressure. They're going to try and get Jared Goff in third and long situations where they can send even more pressure to try and get those sacks. And then offensively, the name of the game is stop Aiden Hutchinson. He doesn't lead the NFL in sacks. He's not very close to leading the NFL in sacks. However, he's, I believe, the best or top 5 in pressures generated. So he gets pressure against teams. You have to make sure you're blocking him at all times. They have some good players, on that defense as well, including guys like Jack Campbell at linebacker, who's a really solid guy when it comes to coverage. They've got some good cornerbacks. They make plays on the ball. Brian Branch is not playing in this game, I'm pretty sure. I think he's out for a significant amount of time, or maybe he came back last week. Maybe he is playing. I'm going to be slightly disappointed because he's a really good player. But this is a defense that makes plays as well. So don't look at this Lions. This is not the Lions of 4 years ago. This is not the Lions of 10 years ago. These Detroit Lions, they're a good football team. I mean, it's going to be a really, really good game. I think, in my opinion, two of the best teams in the NFL going at it.
Yeah, Broderick Martin, Levi Ozariki, probably butchered his last name, and Jared Jacobs, C.J. Gardner Johnson. They all are Charles Harris is going to be inactive for today's game as well. Yeah, Marlowe. I knew people was asking the question if Marlowe is out. No, yes, he is playing today. Also, Jeremiah Moon has been moved to the inactive roster in order for Adafio Wade to show up. Who had a he had a begin he had a strong beginning. I will say that. He was looking a little out of body. We're gonna need a lot of pressure from the outside, and from what Kyle Van Noy brings, Jadeveon Clowney, and now adding someone that's kind of he's on the hot seat for me. This is year 3, and we haven't really seen the production that we expected because yes, we know that he's a project, but eventually year 3 is usually when our project guys come alive. So like you said, man, it is going to be a tall task because both teams have great players, man. At the end of the day, we got a headhunter too in our back seven. And Mr. Kyle Hamilton. Unfortunately, he got ejected out the game. I definitely feel like in the UK, the Tennessee Titans still had a little bit of juice, because a lot of calls were called their way. But outside of that, man, this defense was playing good ball. I do need the offense, to take that next step, man. I was talking to a buddy of mine over the week, man, and I want to get your take on it, McConnell, before the game start. When do you feel like Lamar Jackson finally says, you know what, I'm tired of running the script. I'm gonna take the next level. I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make that push for being that MVP guy that I was, and continue showing the world that I can be like the other QBs. We don't want him to. I'm not saying DTM, but I'm saying take his game to another level.
I think when the primetime games start, I think that's when he's at his best. And we have 4 primetime games this year. We've played none of them. They all come in a stretch. I know we play the Niners on Christmas night, which great matchup. We play the Chargers in primetime. We play the Jaguars in primetime. I think we play the Bengals on Thursday Night Football, which is the other primetime game we have. I think that's when we're going to start to see Lamar Jackson take it to the next level and try and lead this Ravens team to a potential 1 seed in the AFC. But they got to get it going. They got to win these games early in the season. They've dropped 2 that they shouldn't have lost. Where you finished that game and you were devastated at how poorly they played, and to still be close to them shows how good of a football team this team really is. They ride on their defense until Lamar Jackson is able to take flight, and that's what they're waiting for this season. Lamar Jackson talked about it. The offense, he's like, we've had some miscues. We're trying to work through it, but I think the play calling, players have been open. Like, it's all been really good. Just a little bit of execution and like ticky-tacky things that they're trying to clean up. But guys, the same thing happened last year on the defensive side of the ball. Remember, we brought in a defensive coordinator. The year started off, and people wanted to fire Mike McDonald after week 5 because we blew a lead to the Dolphins. Huge lead. We blew a lead to and part of it was Greg Roman because the Ravens offense completely stalled out. But we blew a lead to the Bills. We blew leads to, I think, the Steelers as well. We blew a ton of leads early on in the season, and it was like, Mike McDonald sucks. Like, that's what a lot of people were saying. Like, he's not good. And then as the season progressed, the defense got better and better. And then, it jumped another level when we got Roquan. But it progressively got better. I think the offense is getting better and better every single week. The execution has, had a hitch in it, I'll say, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But hey, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's rivalry week. What team doesn't have hitches in rivalry week? So, overall, I expect this offense to get better and better. I really like the play calls that Todd Monken has brought to the offense, and I think he's trying things out. How does running the ball in the red zone work out? How does, going with more wide receiver sets in the red zone, 3-4 wide receiver sets versus 2 wide receiver sets? He wants to learn what exactly is going to work. so that down the stretch of the season, that's where he's able to execute. Because that was the problem with Greg Roman, right? It was the same thing every single time in the red zone. The Ravens are completely mixing it up each and every week, and based on their opponent and how they feel that they're going to play. And remember, we were missing some running backs. We were missing a lot of people earlier, on in the season where you're like, okay, we don't have Odell, we don't have Rashad Bateman.
Yeah.
We don't have Gus Edwards. We don't have, Justice Hill. What are we calling in the red zone? And that we kind of looked a little bit finicky, but we didn't have anybody. Like, we didn't have a go-to. Like, we had Zay and we had Mark.
Excuse me.
But you can't just run a play for only two players.
I like.
So I'm excited for this one.
I like what Mr. Chief brought up. I want your take on that.
It's true.
Do you feel like this team right now that's being built, that we're working with, could rest and still win?
Here's the issue with the 1 seed. The 1 seed rarely plays the 4 seed, right? The 1 seed usually plays the number 1 wild card team, which is usually a lot better than a lot of times the number 1 wild card team is the second best team in the conference, right? Like, you look at it, and you're thinking, okay, who's going to be the number 1 wild card team? It's going to be the Dolphins or the Bills. like those are the 2 top teams. I don't think it'll be the Chargers. I think it's the Dolphins or the Bills.
Yeah.
Those might be the 2 best teams in the AFC. So getting the 1 seed, yes, you get that first round bye, but you're almost for sure playing the Dolphins or the Bills in the divisional series, or divisional, not series, round, baseball, divisional round. If you get that 2 seed, you're playing the worst wild card team, which could be it could be a Colts, it could be a Steelers. I don't want to play the Steelers, but it could be let's see here.
Jags.
Yeah, Jaguars, if they aren't able to win their division, maybe the Titans or something like that.
Yeah.
A lot worse than Dolphins Bills. So you're able to, probably win that game. And then the next round, you're playing the 2 or 3 seed, which you could be playing that at home, and you're able to gather a little bit of that momentum. I like gathering the momentum. I think a lot of Ravens fans like that. Because this is a team, Lamar Jackson is a player that is built off of momentum. This offense is built off of momentum. It is a locomotive. All right. It is not, I would compare the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a jet engine. They can take off at any time, but a locomotive, it takes time, and you got to rev the engines. You got to throw the coal in there, and you got to get it, churning along. And then eventually it's going to hit their stride. The Ravens in the playoffs, when they've had bye weeks, they've struggled immensely. So I'm totally fine with not getting the 1 seed. I do want to win the division. I do want to have the home game in the wild card round. That's the most important thing to me, because the wild card series, you can definitely lose in that, and you don't want to be playing on the road, playing against a team like the Jacksonville Jaguars, or, heck, it could be, if the Bengals win the division or if the Steelers win the division, whoever it is, you could play a division rival. You don't want to play a division rival on the road. So I'm completely fine with not getting the 1 seed. As long as we make the playoffs, that's all we need, really. Let's just make the playoffs and be healthy in the playoffs. That's what we need.
That's huge. That's very huge. I couldn't agree with you more, man. For the simple fact that we have seen what has happened when we have been the first seed. I don't feel like this team. I like how the schedule is structured in regards of putting the bye week later in the season. But in regards of, when it comes to playoff, the playoff moves and things of that nature, no, I don't feel like we need to be the first seed. I do want to see us, continue to build and off the wins, off the offensive execution and things of that nature, because when you get into the playoffs, you only got one chance. It's not the best out of 3. It's not the best out of 7. This is not the MLB. This is not the NBA. Things of that nature. You only get one shot at it. And I think if they did do a best out of 3 football, them boys would be wore out. I wouldn't be able to do it. So I definitely feel like us being a second a second seed or third seed would definitely do us justice. Because we know we know what team we have, we know what we can do, and when the team is on fire, we've seen it many a times. They are on fire, so I love that. I love that.
Yeah, and we haven't even talked about it. T Sizzle, Terrell Suggs, enshrinement into the Ring of Honor today, number 55. Top 5 player to ever put on the Ravens uniform. I was like going through them. I was like, okay, what can I say? What can I say? I was like, top 3. Nope, not top 3. Top 5 for sure. Terrell Suggs, one of the most impactful players of the, really 2006 to 2020 was really when he just, was the leader on that defense outside of Ray and Ed. That's the 3. When you think about Baltimore Ravens football and Baltimore Ravens defense, I think most people would go Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs. They clamp people up. The next guy up, Haloti Ngata. Like, that's what it was. That was the core that made the Ravens defense so great from, post 2000 Ravens defense, post greatest defense of all time. When they started adding in those new pieces, they were still able to stay elite. So I want to see one of our pass rushers come out there and have a big game in honor of T Sizzle. Imagine T Sizzle versus Steelers. We need that out of a Jadeveon Clowney, right? I want to see him. He's had he's played great football. How many years have we been waiting for it? 3 years where we're like, come on, sign Jadeveon Clowney. Well, we finally got him and he's getting pressure. Let's see him finish some of those sacks. Let's see him have a big game. And if he has a big game, this Ravens defense will take another step, because right now they're allowing 260 yards per game. That's pretty darn good historically. But the Browns are averaging 200, so we're going to need a team to go off on the Browns, because 200 yards per game is ridiculous. That's some like 1940s football right there.
Yeah, they playing good ball for sure. Like you said, Suggs is there. Todd Heap is actually showing up today. Marshall Yonder's there, Ray Lewis and Reed. So a lot of the legends that's played with Terrell Suggs are there. In support. I heard Ray Lewis in the middle of the field embrace Steve Bisciotti and John Harbaugh. Things of that nature is great to see. It's great to see those guys back. When you see the old guys come back for Baltimore, it reminds you of that energy of that in the 80s type of team. When the guys come back on the sideline, they rowdy, they getting the guys rowdied up to like, hey man, you got to see the field like this, do this and do that, and get better. Mm-hmm. Also, I don't know if you ever heard this story, McConnell, that Warren Sapp, before he became the best defensive tackle for the U, he was actually a tight end first. So yeah. But it would be great to. That's a lot of expectation to see Adafi come out and have a Suggs-esque type of game, because that's not his game just as of yet. But this is a home game. This is a homecoming for him, and so many other words, because he's been gone for the past 4 games. And to see one of our young guns out between come out and show like, hey, I may have been gone, but I'm back. That's the way you make your presence known. Honestly, in my opinion, Jagoff is a sitting duck. They say Adafia's way is one of the fastest, one of the strongest, arguably, defensive ends in the league right now. And I feel like he can be arguably one of the fastest and one of the strongest defensive ends. But you got to beat him down. You got to beat that offensive lineman. I think he got Penei Sewell on that right side for the Detroit, or is he on the left side?
I don't know where they play. I got to look up the offensive line.
But yeah, so boy, we're praying that Morgan Moses is on point today against Mr. Aiden Hutchins.
Sewell is on the right. They got Taylor Decker at left tackle. Great left tackle as well. So, and then they got, man, their O-line is really good.
Yeah, Frank Ragnow's their
center. Like they got a great tackles, great center. Their guards are not as good, but when you have great tackles, great center, that means you got to get interior push.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Justin Metabike. That's what that means. Michael Pierce. That means Travis Jones.
Travis Jones,
Roderick Washington.
Yes, sir.
Tavius Robinson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And
Patrick Queen on the blitz.
And Boyd, if you don't trust Oweh, trust Kyle Van Noy. Kyle Van Noy, since we brought him in, has been playing like a man possessed. He does the little things, and he makes his presence known. So, it's going to be a lot of guys coming on that right side.
Absolutely. I can't wait to watch this game. You want to get into some bold predictions?
Yeah, absolutely.
For the day. All right. So, starting off, let's go to the offensive side of the ball. We got a lot of players to choose from. It's also, I think, honorary bold prediction day. It's National Tight End Day. Let's throw in a tight end bold prediction as well.
Okay.
But let's start with the tight ends for National Tight End Day.
I think we gotta go to the main man. We gotta start off with Mark Andrews. 110, six receptions, and a tutty, two tutties. One I feel like is going to be a push situation possibly, and another one,
Mark Andrews,
another
QB
one for the
touchdown.
Yeah, and another one for like
that.
a 30-yarder. He going to stretch the field. So I definitely could see something like that happen.
Oh, I've got my bold prediction for today. I just thought of one. It's locked in. It's a guarantee. But tight end bold prediction. I'm gonna go with Isaiah Likely.
Okay.
He puts up 55 yards receiving today. I think he gets like 3 receptions, 55 yards, has like one big play.
It'd be good to see him involved in the game. It would be good to see him involved in the game, But other predictions, are we still staying on the offensive side of the ball?
Offensive side of the ball, Odell throws a pass today for a touchdown.
Who catches it? Who's on the back end catching it?
I'm going to go with Rashad Bateman. I think Todd Monken has called Odell Beckham Jr. passes, I believe, multiple times when they were in Cleveland. I know Odell threw the ball not a bunch, like maybe once or twice a season in Cleveland, but Todd Monken kind of started that in Cleveland, letting Odell throw.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a big game. I think we're going to see it at least once this season. I think this is the week where we see it, middle of the first quarter, first or second drive, around the 50, we see an Odell Beckham Jr. pass, and maybe Lamar tries to run around. It would be sick if we threw like a touchdown pass to Lamar, but it's really tough to do that. Last time I remember a quarterback caught a pass down the sideline. I know Joe did it. Joe did it for the Ravens. That was the last one for the Ravens. Yeah. Russell Wilson, I think, tried to do it. Oh, last year Tom Brady tried to do it. It was horrible. Tom Brady completely slipped, but that was the last time I saw someone try a quarterback down the sideline pass. But Lamar's better than Tom Brady. He's more athletic. Let me rephrase that. He's not better than Tom Brady. He's better as an athlete than Tom Brady. As a wide receiver, he would be better.
He's working. It's
the Odell.
It can happen.
The Odell trick play pass is happening today. I've seen the script. I've opened the vault.
I love you, man. Listen, if you're gonna go that route, I gotta go to the welcoming of Keaton Mitchell in the off season. I mean, in the actual regular season. If the ball is on the ground, I see Keaton Mitchell going crazy. I got him going for like 120 in the touchdown.
I love it. I would love to get Keaton Mitchell involved today. That would be sick.
I think it needs to happen, man. I think it needs to happen.
I love it. That would be so much fun.
John,
let's flip over to the defensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball, bold predictions. Benjamin with a great one. Under 4 catches for Amon-Ra St. Brown.
That would be beautiful.
I'm going to go with the main man, Kyle Hamilton.
Talk to me.
Give me a sack and a pick 6.
after the way he was taking out the game last week, oh yeah, he's gonna be a man possessed. I definitely feel it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're gonna try. I feel like they're gonna try. The sophomore on the rookie versus the sophomore with their tight end versus our safety. Mike McDonald loves to put our big guy, our big 6'4", 6'3" frame safety on tight ends, and I definitely feel like that happens.
Yep.
I'm gonna go another step further. It's bold. It's bold. I got 6 sacks. Forced fumble, scoop and score.
Not for a player. That was for the team.
Yeah, for the team.
Oh, I thought you were about to name drop somebody, and I was like, oh my god. Okay, I love that for the team. I think that's definitely doable. I love that. That's sick. JT breaks his record for a field goal before halftime. Oh yeah, special teams bold prediction. Justin Tucker has a good game against the Detroit Lions. Okay, that's too obvious. Justin Tucker's money against the Lions.
Void, Ojabo, and Tyus Bowser. I don't know how severe their injuries are, but no, they're not playing. They're not active. Yeah, John has not given us no information on those 2 guys.
Yeah, unfortunately. But that's probably going to wrap it up. Joshua, you got any last things to say before we get down and watch this football game?
Man, make sure y'all got your popcorn ready. The Ravens going to do what they do best, and stay tuned in, man. Thank y'all for always coming through the stream. Make sure y'all smash and like and subscribing and sharing it with your friends and family, man. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good one. Ravens, let's go get a W.
Absolutely. Hopefully next time we see you, Ravens are 5-2.